Welcome back to the Creative Mindset channel. I'm your host, Al Train. Thank you for rocking with me again. Today we're going to do a little something different. We're going to do a book review of a great book called Atomic Habits, written by James Clear. This is a great book about building good habits and breaking bad habits. I'm in the process of building a book club, so I wanted to do this first video just to pick a solid book that I think can help your mindset, help your mentality, your life, your business, whatever goals you got going on. Habits are important. So let's start with the first couple of topics I kind of wrote down that I thought were really helpful in this book. The first one was getting 1% better every day. You probably heard this in other videos, probably heard this before, this try to get 1% better every day. Because what happens is 365 days in a year, if you get 1% better every day, in a year's time span, you'll be 37 times greater than you were last year. So a way to look at this from a different mindset is a lot of people look at the year from January 1st to December 31st. And so when you have people who do like New Year's resolutions, a lot of the reasons why they fail by like March is because they haven't built the consistent habits of transforming whatever they want to be. So let's say you want to lose X amount of weight, 30 pounds. So they say, I'm going to go to the gym every day for the whole year. That's my New Year's resolution. And then they do it for January. Then it gets to be February. And now it's, depending on where you live, it gets really cold. Now it's snowing. Now it's windy. And now you've been getting up around 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and going to the gym, but now you're just not feeling it because it's cold and it's tough and it's getting difficult. This is life kind of giving you a test. And what happens is people say, well, I'll skip the gym today. It's too cold. I'll do something else. And then they stop the momentum of getting better every day, that 1% getting better, because you know that going to the gym would improve your health, it would help improve your physical health, it would improve your mental health. So you give up on that goal. And then it just gives you more incentives to skip another day and another day or have a cheat meal. So next thing you know, you have kind of given up on your New Year's resolution. So what I think is a better strategy is stop looking at the year from January 1st to December 31st, but look at it as chapters in your life. So whatever age you are. So I'm 44 right now at the time of this video. My birthday is right around in April. So it's been about a month and a half since my birthday. So I'm already 1 month into my 44th chapter. So now I'm trying to look at how do I become better by the time I'm 45. So every day I want to do something that's going to improve my situation, reading a book, working out, eating healthier, eliminating distractions, eliminating the junk food, bad content that you're watching. There's just stuff that you're just mindlessly scrolling and you're wasting your time. So you can start eliminating things and start adding better habits. And just these small little things can add up. So getting 1% better every day, gradually change your situation in a year's time. You'll get 37 times better. Thought that was a cool thing that was in the book. And it was one in the earlier chapters. So it's a good incentive, something that's achievable. It's a good habit to start building. Next, environment matters. Now, it's not necessarily where you live, your town, your city, or your country, your nation, but it's the environment of what you want to do and what you want to become. So let's use an example. If you want to write a book, it would be really good for you if you find other writers who were into writing books or who have written books, and you could be around them. They could give you insight, they can give you experience, they can give you information, they can give you encouragement, and they can also hold you accountable. If you say, hey man, I really want to write a book and this is my first book, and they say, hey, I wrote X amount of books, or I got a blog, or whatever the case may be. And in that environment, it's going to give you more incentive to keep going because you see them struggle. They told you about the struggle. So when you're struggling, it's just part of the process. It's part of the journey. So environment matters a lot. Then it also goes into the discipline of the environment, which means you got to keep showing up. So instead of using the book example, you can use the gym. If you go to the gym and you have a couple buddies that you go to the gym with, they're going to also encourage you to go. But if you stop skipping, like, oh man, you haven't been here in weeks, bro. Where you been? What's going on? They're gonna hold you a little bit more accountable, and they're gonna like, hey man, where's your discipline? You said you wanted to start working out. You said you want to get in better shape. You said you wanted to get your steps in, and now you haven't been here in 3 weeks. So the discipline of your environment plays a big factor in as well. So eliminating certain places that you want to go to. If you want to eat a healthier meal, you don't want to go to Burger King. You want to go to some place that has better options, right? So where you go and what you do is going to be a reflection of your discipline, and that's going to be infectious of your environment. Next, he wrote a quote in this book. I wrote it down. It was, "Best is the enemy of good. Action is better." So I'm going to give you an example. I started a clothing brand this year, and I was selling t-shirts online through like Amazon, Etsy for the last couple of years. So I have a little bit of experience in selling t-shirts and the t-shirt business and apparel business. But selling t-shirts on marketplaces like Amazon or Etsy is a different situation than selling as a brand, because a brand, you have to build an audience, you have to build a culture, it takes more time. Whereas, for example, selling a t-shirt on like Amazon, Father's Day is a couple weeks away. So you can just make Father's Day shirts because they're already going to be popular, they're already going to be in demand. Now it's going to be a difference between if your shirt's cool, if it's not, if it's at a different price. It's not, that plays into it as well. But if you go into doing something and you're trying to figure out the best plan, you may waste too much time being a student and not putting in action. So let's say you have person A and person B. Person A wants to start a clothing brand built around bowling because they're into bowling. They have a bowling league and they go to bowling tournaments. So guy A says, "Hey, I got this cool logo. I got this cool saying on a shirt. I want to start wearing this shirt every time I go bowling." And people are like, "Hey, it's a cool shirt. Where'd you get that shirt from?" "Hey, I made the shirt myself. I made it at my house." Or, I went to a screen printer, I got the shirt. I'm kind of working on this little side hustle. And they're like, "Cool, man, can I get a shirt?" And that person sells them a shirt. Then you have person B, and they're like buying 5 books, 10 books on how to start a clothing brand. And they're not selling anything. They're not making any designs. They're just reading the books. So a couple months go by, they haven't started it. This guy's got someone who's already bought a shirt. He doesn't have a website. He doesn't have an LLC. He's just wearing it. He's rocking it. And people are seeing the actual product, and he's just putting it into action. Then a couple more months go by, and guy B is watching all these videos on what t-shirts to get, what sweatshirts to get, what hoodies to get, and he's watching all these videos on how to start an LLC and how to build a website. And this guy just got an Instagram page or is using his Facebook page, and he's wearing a shirt, he's taking pictures. Other people are now buying his shirts. He's going to tournaments. He's telling people about his business. He's telling people about his t-shirt brand, even though it's not an official business at the moment. He's putting it out there. He's putting himself out there. So now people at the tournaments, people at the bowling league are now buying his shirts. They're liking his pictures. He's getting engagement, right? So this person has put in action. He's building something with action. The other person's still in student mode. So if you look a year later, who has the better model? The guy who's actually doing things, the guy who's actually has the product, or the guy who's still watching the videos, reading the books, and he hasn't even done anything? Action is better in that scenario. So when you're confused about what you should do or who you want to be or what you want to become, you should be just trying to put some action. Just try something. Just do something. Don't just sit around and try to figure it out and write everything down and waste a bunch of time and effort and not executing anything. Just go and try to make something happen. So best is the enemy of good. Go put in some work. Go make something happen. The next thing I want to talk about in the book that he wrote was never break the chain. And so let's say, for example, you tell yourself that you're going to start eating healthy. And Sunday you ate healthy, Monday you ate healthy, Tuesday you ate healthy, Wednesday you ate healthy, and now here comes Thursday and you're like, I want to have a cheat meal. I'm going to go to McDonald's and get I forget the McDonald's meal is, the whatever extra number 9 is, right? Jumbo size number 9. And it's not good for you. You've been eating healthy for the past 4 or 5 days, and now you're about to break the chain of your consistency, which is a good habit of eating healthy, for now a cheat meal that's extremely unhealthy. So it slows down the process of you getting a healthier lifestyle, because now you're sacrificing the quick fix, which is the cheat meal, rather than staying on course and staying on the path of eating healthy. So don't break that chain. If you've been working out, if you've been writing a book and every day you say, I'm going to write 5 pages a day, and then it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row, and you're like, I think I'm going to take a week off. You're going to break the chain. You're going to slow the momentum down, and it's going to encourage those bad habits to distract you, like watching bad content, or watching content that doesn't really help your goals, or going out and hanging out with your buddies at the bar or the nightclub. And I'm not against bars and nightclubs, but if you have a goal, that's a distraction. It's going to throw you off. So that's a bad habit, right? You don't want to encourage the bad habits. You want to feed the good habits. So don't break the chain. Next thing he talked about in the book was you can win big by being different. And this also goes into clothing brands as well, because I started a clothing brand. A lot of people try to fit in and just try to be like everybody else because it makes sense. So by you being different, that's actually your unique superpower. Your personality, your likes, your habits, your hobbies set you apart from everybody else. So for me, it's like I like fashion. I like t-shirts. I like wearing cool shirts. This is a cool shirt that I made right here. Keep going, never give up. Part of the brand. And I like reading books. I like to journal. I like to go for walks. I like to make a little bit of money. I like to exercise. I like fitness. I have multiple topics and multiple subjects of my life that I'm interested in. And by you just trying to follow what everybody else is doing, it's going to put you in this box where no one stands out. So you want to do something different. You want to switch it up and be different. You can win big by being different. Now, is it riskier? Yes. Is it maybe not the most surefire strategy by being a little different, being a little outrageous? Yeah, but that's how you win big. You don't really win big by doing what everybody else is doing. You got to step out you got to step into uncomfortable spaces, get out of the comfort zone and try something different. Be different. You're different. Show the world how different you are. That's how you make it happen. That's how you do things in a major way. You can change the world by being different. All right. Next, I want to talk about this very, very important topic that I find interesting because everyone I've been seeing on social media has been talking about this, at least lately on my feed. Scheduling. Your day-to-day schedule. What does your calendar look like? Start utilizing your calendar. Everybody has a smartphone that probably has a calendar on it. Google Calendar is a gold mine. When you start strategizing your day and you start organizing the hours of your day, it almost feels like you have more time in the day to do things because now you're not getting distracted by, a phone call or an email or someone asking you this question or someone wants to meet up with you over here and you're like, hey man, if this ain't in my schedule, if this isn't in my Google Calendar, you're gonna have to put this off. I'm gonna have to figure out some other time. It really, really helps you to organize your day, organize your week, and organize your life. So in the book, he coined the phrase, professionals stick to their schedule. So stick to your schedule. If it doesn't make sense to you today or for your week, then don't do it. If you don't have time for it, don't do it. Time is a very precious commodity that we cannot waste. So the night before, what I've been doing, and this has really helped me a lot in business and in life, is the night before. So let's say it's Monday. Today's Monday. Sunday night, what I'll do is I'll look at my calendar for Monday and I'll say, okay, what do I got to do? What tasks do I have? Where do I have to be? And I start blocking off the things that I have to do from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. And if it doesn't fit in that schedule or I don't have time for the schedule, I just don't do it anymore. You will be so much more efficient in life. It's such a good habit to start tracking your time. Then you start seeing how much time you start wasting. So track your habits, use your calendars, use your apps on your phone. There's a million ones that are free. You don't have to pay a subscription to do it. Start tracking your habits. Start tracking how much money you spend, how much time you watch on, how much TV you're watching. Start tracking your goals. Start tracking what you're eating, what you're drinking. Pay attention to that. Start using your schedule as an asset. Use your calendar as an asset. It's going to really help you level up in life. Those are just a bunch of really good topics that I've found to be helpful in this book. And I'm going to show you the book if you're not familiar with the book. This is Atomic Habits, James Clear. All right. And I'm going to give this book a rating too. So people say you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but I do. And I'm going to do it because it's a book review and I'm building a book club. So I'm going to give this book from a scale of, I'm going to do 0 to 20. So 10 points will be for the content and the other 10 points will be for the artistic creative cover. So I like the gold. It's kind of got a simple text, not super fancy, but I like it. It's kind of clean, doesn't really stick out too much, but it's the object of the book is for you to get good habits, and it kind of got my attention when I saw it in the store. And so I'm going to give the book a rating of a solid 17. I think content-wise, it's a 9. I think cover-wise, it's an 8. So I'm going to give it a score of 17. This is a really dope book for you guys to check out. If you're into reading, you like books, drop a comment of a book you want to cover. I'll check it out, do a video. We're going to build this book club. Today's day 1. Thank you for rocking with me. If you're into mental health, if you're into mindset, if you're into leveling up, if you're into making a little bit more money, improving your lifestyle, man, this is the channel for you. You want some cool merch while you're doing it, keep going, never give up. This is one of the drops. Hit the link, creativecitizen.com. This is the message for today. Peace. We out.